Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon down in Nashville.
Oh, he's back.
There's only one Jared Brandon this week.
Yep.
Wow.
Jared Brandon.
Jared Brandon.
All right, there we go. Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd. Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Heck yeah. We got, we got full house
House.
with us across the table.
Yes.
The effervescent
Yes.
and bubbly.
Bubbly.
Both of those things. Yes, shooting rainbows and happy faces from his mouth and eyeballs. The lovely, the wonderful, sparkling.
I'm waiting for him to run out.
Go
of
ahead.
Yes.
I'm Rob Chafe, Mad Cow Amplification.
Can you see the sparkles coming off this guy?
That's Rob.
Yes.
I have no idea what to make of this.
We also have a super special guest that I'm very happy to have on the show tonight. Guest, who are you?
My name is Blair White.
And you do what, Blair White?
I am one of the owners of Eastside Music Supply in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Woo-hoo!
So we had the fortune of, we'll talk about our history
Talk
with
about it.
Eastside Music Supply once we get into the guts of things, okay?
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet, but I'm very happy to have him on. I ran into him at NAMM this year, and I said, we got to have you on the show, and he said, okay, so here we are.
Hey, Todd.
Yes.
You always remember you should support your local music retailer.
You absolutely
Hey.
should do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, you say that one more time,
Absolutely.
and maybe one more time for the people in the back.
Support your local guitar store.
Love it.
Yes. All right. So we're going to catch up on all the things that's going on down in Nashville at a unique guitar store there. And we have a lot to hear from the peanut gallery here.
Who's
Yeah.
in the peanut gallery?
Well,
I am.
yes.
I didn't see any peanuts when I came in here.
Yes. Anyways, you're dragging this one out, so I'm going to try to get around it.
Do your best.
We just have a couple of announcements, or at least maybe one. I had a fantastic exchange with our good friend Anthony Gemalero.
Anthony Gemalero.
He
Yeah,
sent
man.
this to me, and it actually just like completely doubled me over. It was great. Anthony's one of our long-running supporters on Patreon.
Maybe he likes to go by Anthony.
Anthony. All
Anthony.
right. So we actually talk quite a bit on here, and that's what happens if you send messages. Doggone it.
Yeah.
So he says, he pops in, he says, he just sent this message, and it says, this was an exchange between him and his friend. Okay, it says, dude, Strats are awesome. Now everybody sends me Strat stuff, just so you know. I got the one before that was some guy playing pool with a Stratocaster headstock, you know. Anyways, because everybody knows
You love Strats.
I just love them so much.
Yep.
Anyways, he says, dude, Strats are awesome. They just need a few minor mods, like changing the scale from to 24 3/4, 12-inch radius, mahogany body with a maple top, 2 humbuckers, ABR1 bridge, a stop bar tailpiece, separate tone and volume controls for each pickup, and a 3L, 3R headstock. Aside from that, I think Leo got it right.
Sounds like you got yourself a Fender Gibson.
So I was just doubling over there. That was really, really funny. And he said, "Hey, I thought you'd like this. It was great." So that was a conversation between him and his buddy Gabs, who turned him on to Marvin guitars.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think that might have been actually how I got turned on to Marvin guitars.
I think they named that after my dog.
And he's in a band called the Ravagers, which I'm going to check out. So anyways, thanks for that, Anthony and Gabs.
Anthony. Yes.
We are going to be selecting
Special gift.
a special 2 giveaways. 2 DIY packages from Copper Sound.
Copper Sound.
That's right. One to an executive producer and one to a grand poobah.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very, very exciting. So hopefully this we still get to choose. I got to see when that comes back out. Let's find out what's going on in our music. Wait, hold on, Tony. We get a lot of people joining all the time.
Yes.
And they might be sitting going, what am I getting into here? For the good people who might be listening for the first time.
For the very first time.
Yes, or maybe the second time.
What
do we do here?
Let me apologize in advance. No.
So sorry.
No, we like to talk about gear. We like to talk about guitars and amps and pedals and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff that you use every day if you like to play guitar.
That's right.
And we talk to both big and small manufacturers, boutique manufacturers. Every once in a while, we'll have 101s where we learn a lot about special things. We've got one coming up.
We just did one on Vox.
That's right. Well, the one coming...
And DIY on breadboarding.
And the one coming up, in the words of Jan Brady, is Marshall, Marshall, Marshall.
That's right. Featuring our very own amp guru over here.
Who?
The Dr.
I don't know
Fix
what he's
It.
talking about.
Rob Chafe.
Chafe.
Yes, who's probably handled more kinds of amps than, well, most people.
Well, most people, but
Yes.
not, yeah.
He's handled more amps than people, or...
Yes.
Yes.
Most assuredly. Yes.
I've been keeping count. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. So that's all good stuff.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what we do. And if you listen and you like, go back and, you got 200 and...
325.
Like I was
326.
By 200, I meant there's really 200 really good ones.
This will be
and then about
327.
126
That's about
other
right.
ones.
Yes, this is episode 327.
Oh wow!
Can you believe that?
I can't believe
That
it.
is absolutely nuts.
It
All
seems
right.
like we broke 200 and then the counting stopped.
Yes. So before we go on too far, Blair, can you tell everybody where they can go check out the things that you do?
Sure, yeah. We're on all of the socials and whatnot. EastsideMusicSupply.com, Eastside Music Supply on Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff. We don't have a TikTok yet, but give us we have like the name, but like kids, we're coming. Just give us some time. We're gonna get on the TikToks too, But yeah, you type it in, it should come up. Pretty
Awesome.
Now, what did I hear? I just heard this on the news today
What?
that Elon Musk is changing the name of Twitter to X.
Yes, X
Yeah.
the band actually posted a thing that said,
And we are not affiliated with.
we're big fans of your new logo. That's what they did. They posted
Are you
that.
serious?
Yes. Because it's like,
Oh.
it's literally an X.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
That's hilarious.
it is.
Oh well.
Oh, boy. So many things going on.
If it ain't broke, don't break
Yes.
it.
Oh, and speaking of X, I'm very excited because they did do a return date because they had to cancel for a medical emergency. Yes. So they're going to be coming out. Yeah. So you should maybe get a ticket or whatever.
Maybe I should. Or you can just give me
I think
one of
Hex
yours.
might be going to that.
Hex.
Yeah.
Hex rhymes with X.
Hex, he's going to be on the show too. Hex Matos, my good friend.
What?
And Grand Poobah. That's right. Anyways, alrighty, let's find out what's going on with the rather flat-haired and red-faced Tony today. Tanya Bolonsky, take it away.
Well, Todd, this week I've been busy tearing out my.
Wait, you guys are twins today.
We are twinsies.
Talking about-
I have.
You
but
guys
I
are
have,
both wearing like a
But I
weird
have-
olive shirt and short,
Well, I have
unusually
salmon.
short.
I have salmon
beige
shorts.
pants.
Mine
Are you
are
sure his
salmon.
shirt isn't gray?
No, it's kind of grayish green.
Yeah.
Okay. The
All
lighting
right.
in here sucks.
And yeah. Anyways, all right,
Yes.
Tony, go.
So this week I've been tearing out my bathroom, or helping the guys that I hired tear out my
Watching
bathroom.
them destroy your bathroom.
Oh my God, it's crazy. I mean, it's dirty, it's nasty, and I can't wait till they're done and out of there. But that's not for about another month. Anyhow, a buddy of mine sent me. I sometimes buy vicariously through him.
Does this have to do with the bathroom?
No,
You're just saying that?
I'm just saying that.
He's
Okay.
just been
All
dealing
right.
with just let him vent.
All right.
I found a guitar when I opened up the wall.
I mean, that's
It
where
was
I thought
a-
this was
Wow.
going.
It was a Stradivarius guitar.
Yeah.
But anyhow, my buddy sent me a photo. He says, somebody wants to sell me this. And it is like a late 50s, early 60s Carvin double neck. So a Mando top and a 6-string bottom. And I said, just buy it. Just buy it. Because he likes oddball stuff.
Steve?
No, not Steve.
Oh, okay.
No, Steve's a little more conservative.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Sounds
I have other friends, Todd. Anyhow,
Two.
Yeah, well, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Well,
besides us.
yeah. But anyhow, I found it kind of interesting, and I Carvin was one of those companies that surprisingly was around really in the late 40s, about the same time Leo started building things out in California. And their early works in the 50s and even into the 60s were pretty primitive. I mean, they were, kind of like, you look at Moserites, you look at some early Fenders, you look at some other things, and guitars from that era were not, really fancy, kind of crude. But this one looks so cool, and especially with a Mando top neck and a just a stock 6-string on the bottom, and my buddy likes those double neck things like that from time to time. But anyhow, I just found it kind of interesting, and sadly, and I'm not sure why they did this, because Carvin had a really strong reputation. They sold directly to consumer. They had PA equipment, they had guitars, they had amps, and they were all decent quality. But for some reason, 5-6 years ago, they changed the name to Kiesel, which was
in the 80s they were doing really well.
Well, yeah, they
were making good stuff.
Well, they had a store on I think on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, there was also one in Santa Ana.
Yeah. So there is.
That's where my famous Peony story came from.
I don't know if you're allowed to talk about that on the podcast. Yes. We have a G rating.
Wasn't all their electronic stuff also made in USA?
Yeah, most of it. I mean, towards the end, I think they started importing some things.
So that's your answer right there.
Yeah. Well, maybe
they couldn't.
They couldn't sustain
PV learned that lesson 5 years before they did. But also, I don't know if you know or not, but Carvin split.
Oh, I did not.
And Kiesel was the grandson, whoever's running it now, something Kiesel.
Yeah.
He took over the guitar division, renamed it Kiesel, but they separate as two separate, completely different companies.
But I don't think Carvin exists anymore.
It doesn't. The Carvin for electronics continued under Carvin Audio or whatever, a whole separate company staying on its own LLC, yada yada.
Yeah.
And then it collapsed a few years after that. So basically, the grandson came in, said, let me do this, let me take it over, I'll make it work, and he has.
Yeah.
And then the electronics side, the other, I don't know what it was, 2 other grandkids or something were running that, and.
Rob, while you're talking about the, what'd you say? Go ahead, Blair.
Oh no, I was just saying, the grandson's like, listen, you got it wrong. Got to get rid of these headstocks, and then we can move forward with guitars. No headstocks. The Kiesel, they got the headless. The head, they're like all those
they've got some of those. They've got a bunch of different stuff now, and they do the fan guitars and all this.
Yeah, they're nuts. Those guitars are insane.
Yeah, they do nuts stuff like the crazy
9-string extended range.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well,
One more time.
About. Yeah. Nope. If you didn't sample it, you missed it.
Yeah. Now, Rob, on the note of Carvin. They made guitars, and coming from California, I mean, I saw those a lot.
Yeah, all over the place, I'm sure. Yeah.
And obviously, they made amps. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. Maybe a lot of people don't know that, but they did make a lot of amps.
Oh, they made a really killer tube amp that would give Mesa a run for its money.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Have you run across many Carvins, and what do you think of them?
I've run across a fair number. Not as many as I'm sure, because freight charges to get it across the U.S. Everything from okay to pretty good.
Yeah. They didn't really have their own sound, did they, as much?
No, not so much as like other brands that this sounds like this, Marshall sounds like Marshall, Vox sounds like Vox. No, it was a little bit of everything. It's
they had probably more Fendery based, and
they had a lot of high gain stuff. They had the whole Legacy series. There was those 2 and 3 channel, the Vai stuff,
Steve Vai,
and the old stuff, the X100Bs.
Yeah.
Those things are sick.
Yeah, those are like a 2-channel Marshall-y thing. So I mean, they kind of tried to cover,
and they kind of hit the peak of their stuff when all the rack gear was coming out.
I can't say for sure when their big sales thing was. I know that probably late 70s through very early 90s would have probably been the most prolific time I remember seeing guitar amps around.
Yeah. But, for me, it was the late 80s into the end of the 90s.
But then again, of all the stuff I've seen, it's probably the Vi stuff I see the most often. So and that was later. So who knows?
As I remember, the resale on them was like nothing because they
Okay.
were inexpensive to purchase directly from Carvin.
So I ordered a Carvin T, custom made thing, maybe 25 years ago, we'll say, and I paid $800-900 for it, and it was neck through, 24 fret, all the stuff. Great guitar, but it was $800-900. I could not give that thing away.
You could have given it to me.
I ended up selling it for less than $300.
Oh my!
Took it to a couple guitar shows, couldn't give them away. Finally, somebody came up, was interested. I had like 4 something marked on, and the guy was like, "What will you take?" I was like, "How much money you got in your pocket?"
Wow!
It's got to go away. I couldn't get rid of it. Yeah,
Wow.
But now that they're called Kiesel and all the stuff, even the old Carvin stuff's worth a pretty penny guitar wise.
It's going more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
So, anyways, we hijacked your whole thing there.
That's okay. That was my music world this week.
Yeah.
All of it.
All that stuff.
Wow. Yeah, you can get. Holy moly. Yeah, that's cheap stuff out there if you want to get it and try it out, which is kind of crazy because
Look at
that
their
was
amps. Yeah.
that was like on the higher scale of thing back back then.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, let's find out what's going on with not Eric. I'm so sorry, Blair.
Yeah.
Yes. What's going on in your music world, man?
Music world, lots of, I guess, like shop world or just music world?
Non-shop world. We're going to get to your shop world.
Non-shop world. Yeah, well, that's fun stuff. Just finished doing some new tunes with a guy that I play like synthesizer and drones and percussion with, which is fun.
Wow.
To kind of step away from the guitar. So we just finished up a record that we're going to be putting out. His name's Charlie Witten, great guy, better guitar player than I am. I just get to make noises and use pedals and old synths and be a weirdo. But so that was fun. Anytime I get to play music, in my ripe old age with my children and my business, I'm having a good time. So that's been kind of what's new in my music world. And then, I get to play with all the gear before we're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
So there's just been so much cool stuff come out lately. So I've kind of gotten a more revived sense of being excited about some gear. So I've just been nerding out at home like I used to, which is, it's a bit refreshing. It's really nice.
That's awesome, man. I think that's again, we'll get into your shop and everything, but you just touched on something that we've brought up in the past, which is if you really love to eat pizza, don't work at a pizza shop or whatever.
Totally. Yeah.
But does that actually apply to guitar stuff? We'll find out more. Well, you don't have to answer now. We'll find out.
Okay,
Nice
we'll come back to this, folks.
Indeed.
I don't know why you can't work at a pizza shop if you love pizza.
Oh, you can.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
But it could ruin it. It could ruin pizza for you.
Really?
All this and more. Guitar knobs.
Yes, exactly.
It
20
might,
minutes
Tony.
later.
Tony's baffled.
might.
He's like, I don't see how that could happen.
Oh, just the aroma. A freshly baked pie.
If that's all you smelled all day, hey, look, I know people from other industries, and that has killed their desire for
I guess maybe I do
things.
need to work in a pizza parlor.
Yes.
See how long it lasts.
Yes. You should work in a poop store. Anyways. I don't know.
What?
What?
That doesn't even make sense.
That's
know.
a good quality joke.
Yeah.
That's a good quality joke right there.
That's like a Michael Scott joke right there.
Yeah. Stay on the food store.
All right. Jared, about yourself.
Oh, yes. So, the first little tidbit I'd like to talk about is my friend and I and his brother played a long time ago together, and we're starting to play again. And now that I'm in Nashville and they are, instead of 2.5 hours away, they're more like 7.5 hours away. All we do is we just like to collaborate. My friend writes tunes and he does rhythms and all that kind of thing. And I like to add layers of music to it, like little violin parts and guitar parts, acoustic guitar parts, little lead lines, and maybe a lead once in a while. So it's just a really good time, and it's it's getting me to tune up my guitars more and just kind of use my equipment a little more. I got some pretty cool PreSonus 8-inch speakers, monitors. They're pretty nice. They're really loud. I didn't expect them to be this loud, but I did that so I can kind of help mix the stuff, and so I got some pretty cool. I've never had studio monitors in my life. I've never had them. This is my first time, and I just hook them right up to the Focusrite that I use. And they're fantastic. It's like I wish I would have bought some of these 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
It is, and yeah, you can just kind of hear everything without having headphones, and yeah, it's great. So yeah, just doing a lot of collaborating, recording. If shameless plug, Stranger Remnant on Instagram and TikTok. So look us up if you want to hear some retro style music, probably from the 90s, because that's what we do, because we just can't get out of that era. We do it for fun, and that's why we do it, and we enjoy it. We're guitar players.
That's the best reason ever.
Yep.
Indeed.
Robbie,
Yes.
what's going on in your music world this week?
I was like, what?
He just
Sorry
woke
about
up.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I
hates
took a
us.
nap.
He hates the show. He hates to talk. Why do you keep coming back? I love that you're here.
Every week
but
or so.
I'm getting really curious. Are you auditing us or something?
No. I got cleaning service comes in the house every week to 2
Okay,
weeks, so
all right.
I got to get out of the way. You know.
That's the reason why.
That makes perfect sense now.
Go ahead.
Okay, Music Week. I think I've mentioned before that I'm going through and comparing different speakers. Did I mention this? Oh,
I don't think you
okay.
did.
So I got a lot of customers obviously ask, thinking about changing speaker in my amp. What change?
I've done
would
that
it-
several times with you.
There you go. And most of the time, if it's a dirty amp, they go after a selection. Majority of the time, clean amp, a Jensen or a Weber. But so I've got a couple of 212s, Marshall 212s now. I'm trying to load with different speakers that kind of the most popular ones. And I was actually even thinking about going with two 412s. So I have 8 options, but I said, man, that's crazy. So I'm going through and A/Bing a bunch of different speakers and going, let's keep this one in this cabinet. But yeah, so I had 4 different V30s that were all older ones from the 90s. And I purposely had these all sitting around because I'd already gone through many different V30s from different stages, Chinese and all these different makes, and narrowed down to this certain period of time that I liked, the 95 to 99 period.
Now, are those UK or
UK.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is before they went over to China the first time. They had the old cones, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I was blown away because I had 4 of them. I was like, well, let's put the best sounding one or the most versatile one in this cab for a demo. Boy, oh boy, they all sound drastically different to the point that they could be called 4 different speakers.
Really?
I mean, it's way off.
Why do you think that is?
So inherently, speaker construction, it can only be so tight of tolerance because it's you think about it, it's the magnet and the wire. So the number of turns, size of wire, like you're winding a pickup, and then the makeup of that magnet. Speaker to speaker out of the same batch. I know they vary a little bit. I assume this is just that on top of they're all used. So they're all varying degrees of broken in.
Yeah.
Let's
Ted Knight the heck out of this.
Yes.
What is happening?
I don't know, Jared. Just wait it out. So anyway, but that's So I've been going through, I don't know, about 24 different selections and found that out. And then I'm like, oh crap! I thought I had to narrow down to like that period of time I liked. And I had a couple just sitting on shelves because I just bought them because they were cheap, and I put one in and it's unusable. It is so scooped for a V30. It's unbelievable.
Why don't you just get a cabinet simulator?
Yeah.
Sound like just the guy.
I've got 2 or 3 different kinds of pre-rollers you can probably test
Yeah. Well, see,
from the early 70s.
when I'm going through, I want to keep some V30s for myself, Jared, and then everything else I want to be new, current production, so I can
actually get it.
Purchase
sell it. Yeah, I just happen to have those V30s of my own that I was like, oh, I like these, so these I'll keep these 4 on a shelf. So if I blow them or whatever, and then basically I found out that a couple of them for me are unusable.
So are you going to start selling speakers now too?
Yeah, I always have.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just I don't stock a whole lot, and you know, because I haven't had that option to compare. So
Nice.
Have you diagnosed? Well, not diagnosed, but have you kind of assessed each speaker where you would test the ohms, coming out of it? I don't know if you have. I doubt you have a Gauss meter to check and see if the magnet's Gauss is the same or.
No. I haven't done anything like that. And as far as the impedance of the speaker, it's that's a nominal impedance. So you would actually have to
Explain that.
at its resonant peak. That's the impedance it's rated for. So
Resonant peak.
resonant peak, strongest output.
Okay.
16 ohms, right?
Well, and that's just it. Is it at whatever the resonant frequency is that the speaker's designed to be at 16 or 8 or 4.
That's the max. Okay.
No. It actually that's usually the lowest point. The impedance of the
By
speaker.
max, you mean lowest.
Yes.
Okay.
The impedance of the speaker will actually vary greatly over its frequency response. So that's a whole other thing.
As
But,
clear as an unmuddied lake.
yeah, I don't. Yeah. You can actually, if you pull up a frequency response chart of a speaker, you'll see on one will be the frequency response,
Yeah.
and on the other,
Yeah,
the
Warehouse
other side
Speaker
is-
Supply does a great job of that.
Yeah.
and then the other side is impedance, showing how it changes over the
Yeah.
frequency response.
Have
So-
you ever tried slicing the cone with a razor blade?
No, I've never heard
Try
of that.
That's cool.
Okay,
That's
so I shouldn't fix the holes in them anymore.
No, keep the hole.
okay.
If you make symmetrical holes all the way around,
That's
you're
Put
onto
your
something.
finger through it.
that goes
Put
back
your
to
finger through it.
the at least fable,
middle finger.
the kinks.
Kinks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well, he's being a smart guy.
I know.
Okay.
I get it. Jared fell over in his chair.
I did not.
Call 911.
No, it would have been louder than that.
All right. Well, that's sounds like fun. So you got that sorted out, or
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. We'll talk about it again another 6 months, another 6 months after that. Because I'll
Awesome.
get this sorted out, then I'll probably go to 2 412s, and then I'll go to 4
Did you say this
412s.
is for your personal rig? That you're
No,
testing?
this is for the shop.
Yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
that way I can have all the,
Yep.
options. So when people come in and go, hey, I'm thinking about changing the speaker in my Vox. And I go,
Yep.
well, okay, what do you have in there right now? Oh, you got the old whatever, a Wharfdale. Okay, so here's...
Wharfdale.
Yeah, remember when they had Wharfdales in them?
Yeah, but that was only for a brief period of time.
I just swapped a pair in a guy's AC30,
Really?
actually. Yeah, we put in a greenback and a gold. Alnico gold.
That's a great
Yeah.
combination.
So, but that's exactly why, because I couldn't describe to him, like, I think you'll like this, and this is what I think you'll like about it.
You could have sent them down to my shop because that's what I have in my 212.
Hey, if you don't mind random people showing up to your door to play on stuff at loud volumes for 30 minutes at a time, done.
You don't
I
want
like
that.
that idea.
Blair's
Listen
like,
to
you
Blair.
don't
Blair's
want
like,
that.
no.
I have to deal with that every day of my life.
That,
They have
Yeah.
to buy a pick card.
cut
That's the
to walk
price.
hard and
Oh, man.
and watch Blair going, you don't want none of this, do we?
We want nothing that, do we?
No, they have to buy an arch top pick guard. That's the price.
There you go.
Blair, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you have to deal with a lot of speaker specific stuff at your shop?
We do repairs. We do a good bit of repairs, and we do swaps. We don't recone or do anything like that. There's a couple people in town. Jared, you might know somebody else. I know there's like one person in town, but getting speakers repaired, we used to just have to send them to there's a place called Freeman and Tool in Texas, and it was the craziest thing. If there was a busted speaker that we needed to recone, like a cool old vintage speaker, we would send it to them. The instructions I got were to put it in a box with a note on it. On the note, have our return address and an email. And that I never heard from them, but a week later, I get the speaker back and I have an invoice in my inbox, and it's that's $120 for reconing this and this. I was like, mystery people. It was the craziest thing ever. But no, we don't. I mean, we do swaps, and we don't same. We don't really stock a bunch of them just because there are so many, and everyone is so specific. And man, it is a labor intensive thing to be like, hey, let's hear what these sound like. And then you were saying, it's even after you do that, like each speaker could sound different just because of how beat it is or how much, dope's on it and all this kind of stuff, and just varying degrees of things. So we don't stock a whole hell of a lot of them, but we swap them out, and we try to help as best as we can with like players that have questions and like requests. But like at the end of the day, man, my ears don't sound like yours. Your head, the tone in your head is not the tone in my head that I think you're talking about. So speakers are one thing that's really tricky to deal with. So I guess that's the long answer to no, we don't really deal with a lot of speakers.
That's a great explanation. And you mentioned a word that is common to people who are around speakers a lot, but you mentioned the word dope. Would either you or Tony or Rob care to explain dope? We've gone through this with Guitar Warehouse speakers. By the way, go check out those episodes. They're really, really good, everybody.
Well, back in the 70s, that's what they would refer drugs as.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. Could count on that low-hanging fruit.
So you just
that's the
your
only
drugs
dope
on
I
the
know.
speaker?
Yes. After you make the slashes with the razor blades.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Those speakers probably
help
have
people out here.
too much dope. You start slashing your speakers.
dope is a glue.
Yep.
It's basically a quick drying kind of a varnish base, maybe, or something. I don't even know what it's based. It smells.
Yeah, it looks
It's
like
the
a
black
rubber
stuff around your
dust cap
speaker, and
it's like right on the dust cap and stuff. And like the outside. Yeah.
So it must be flexible, and it must not like get super hard. It just kind of holds everything together.
It's a
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well,
not to extend this section any longer, Todd, but what's going on in your music world this week?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm collecting more and more video, and this week I was out at Chase's shop, and got everything sanded down. I did I sanded the cap down on the back of Vinny.
Vinny the guitar that you're hogging out weight.
Yes, that we put on a diet. And I must say I did a dang good job sanding that little jammy. And Chase was even like, wow, nice job.
You're sanding guitars?
I'm sanding my guitar.
Wow.
Yeah, follow along, Rob. So
Sorry.
After
Blacked
that,
out.
Get the liner notes.
Yes, after that, I did the black grain filler because we're making the back kind of like the neck on Vinny, which is it's been grain filled and then painted, but then like the paint's been like rubbed off because I didn't want like a varnish, like a heavy varnish or heavy.
So is it like semi-satin then, or is it like no black?
It's no black and like almost like just like almost like an oiled wood, like a violin kind of thing.
Yes, almost as if you had a giant pad of sandpaper on your belly and while you were playing.
What?
For 10 years.
No, that's not it. Anyways, and we did he put a really nice little thing on this, which I'm excited to ultimately reveal. I won't reveal it completely, but I thought it was really.
Is it
really
a dedication
thoughtful.
to me?
It is.
I knew it. I knew it.
It's a big middle finger, and anyway, so then we went in there and he did a really nice black burst around it.
Nice.
It's looking good. I'm very excited about this,
Yeah.
and anxious to get it back so I can start playing it. So
Yeah, that'll be great.
But more to come. Like I said, I'm going to show all the process of it because I think it's kind of neat.
That's exciting stuff.
And I felt lucky because I'm in his shop. This is the guitar that he built for me.
Do you ever go home?
I do sometimes.
Okay, I was wondering.
And he's like, hey, here's what you do. You do these things. So I got to put some love into the guitar, which was kind of nice. I appreciated that.
And you didn't screw it up. Good for you.
No. I said, man, I can do this.
Yeah, I can do this, Chase.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to start building guitars.
Yeah. I mean, he said, hey, don't do that for a couple of times. But overall, I think I did pretty good. Pretty good. Anyways, we need to check in with Tour Gear because they have got some fantastic things for everybody.
Tell us.
Blair, I don't know if you're familiar with Tour Gear. Are you familiar with Tour Gear designs?
It's ironic timing. I've actually been a little back and forth about these Tour Gear designs because I came across them, and not only do they have every length imaginable for the patch cable, but they're so small and they just look really, really sleek.
And they're flat like a crepe.
Yeah, flat. I like crepes. I like flat cables too.
Yeah. So they don't kink up and wad up and get in the way and everything.
Here's a tip: don't eat the cables. Eat the crepes.
Eat 'em.
Yes. All right. So, Blair, then you know firsthand. These are really excellent pieces of gear to have, especially if you're putting together and you're like, hey, I need to clean up my board. I've got 27 different kinds of patch cables on it, old ones, new ones, pancake ones, square ones, the whole 9 yards. Do it right. Get a clean job done. Get all the different links you need and get it from one place that is reputable. TourGearDesigns.com. When you load up your cart,
you're going to load up your cart.
You will. And if you're smart, you're going to do that. Trust me. And I've loaded up a couple times. And you just need to put in the guitar knobs.
In the coupon code.
Coupon code.
All one word, all lowercase.
And you're going to get 10% off your entire order.
That's an extra 10% savings on an already reasonably priced product.
Beyond reasonably priced. Yeah.
That's a good deal. You might as well load it up if you get that big of a discount, you know?
That is
Absolutely.
correct. That is correct. So, anyways, we need to say a big fat thank you to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Thank you for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Oh, hey, by the way, before we jump into the noise that's about to happen, if you got a shop like Blair does,
yeah,
or like our pal out in Oakland Guitars, Johnny, or LSJ, Tour Gear is looking for smaller shops like yourselves to get into. So you need to connect with these guys. Get some killer cables in your shop, okay? They asked me specifically, okay, to do that. At any rate, we are going to get on with this.
Jared?
Let me get a little bit of this. Oh, that's a nice one.
Amateur.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 on the Floor. Blair.
Yo.
Of Eastside Music Supply, Nashville. What is your 4 on the Floor? Take them one at a time. Give us all the gory details.
Okay. Well, this is very, very hard to do, first of all. I know the people have said that before, but this is, it's true. Trying to pick just 4, that's tricky. Okay, anyways, definitely every time on my board, I have got some kind of hotcake overdrive, is kind of my safety net, I feel like, of my guitar tone that I love. So it's been the Montreal Assembly Positive for years now. It's just it's my favorite take on the circuit. You know, he did like he did a really cool take on the 2-knob with the mid lift switch, like the old early 2-knob hotcake. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, man. It's something about the way that it kind of rings out and does its thing. It's like I said, it's my safety net. I feel like I could take that pedal and play in a deluxe reverb or a twin reverb, and I'm going to be able to still sound like myself, like with that pedal. So that's number 1.
Awesome. Now, you said you got some type of hotcake. Do you have like a small collection of hotcakes?
I do, and there's not a whole hell of a lot of people making hotcake style drives, but I've kind of gone around the horn there and gotten quite a few of them. But I've got the positive, as I said, and then Scott actually came out with one called the 2 positive that is a double hotcake, but it's in a small form faction with like a really cool some cool routing options.
That's the blue, white, and black one, right?
Yes, yes,
we have that one.
That pedal is so good. But yeah, and then the of course the classic Crowther. I've got a few of those, and I don't own his double hotcake. He makes like 2 hotcakes in a box, like a blend thing. I don't own that one. But yeah, so I tend to stick with Scott's, with the Montreal Assembly. I don't know. There's a little like less harshness to it, I guess. It's like less ice picky. Mm-hmm. Here I go, guitar descriptor words. Less ice picky on his models, and I don't know, they make me feel right at home.
I get it.
Do those hotcakes come with syrup and bacon?
Tony, you're so bad at jokes.
Tony, if you don't have syrup and bacon, you just got to go to the grocery store, brother.
No, Tony's great at jokes. That's one of the reasons I do adore him.
Oh,
All right.
thanks. It's nice to be adored.
That's truth. Okay, so you got your hot cake up front, and then now what?
Yep. So next is speaking of brother, it's the brothers, the Chase Bliss brothers. It's kind of an oldie, and obviously, you know, the way the market is, yada yada, they're expensive as crap at this point. But man, that is just the best utilitarian dirt box for me. It's got, you know, the JFET side and the IC side, and you have a fuzz, drive, and boost on each of them. So like, it just lives on the board because it really doesn't matter who I'm playing with or what style music I'm playing with. It's like, if I need a fuzz, I've got two great fuzzes there, or I've got a fuzz with a boost after it, or I've got extra drive stacking capabilities, which I love that JFET style drive. I'm a big fan of the small sound, big sound, Star CK overdrive to keep that G rating here.
I'm gonna send you a picture when I get home because I got a special one of those.
Yeah, that's there. It's so sick. You know, and just that kind of vibe is there. But then yeah, it's just like it can be two boost, you know, if you wanted to, and you're running like a low gain amp and kind of want to hit the front end. You're a low wattage amp, I mean. But yeah, I use that with the faves, and it's like I just have any combination of dirt, and then again, I got my safety net with my hot cake, and then I got my brothers to kind of take me, you know, to infinity and beyond, so to speak.
Man, yeah, those are that's a nice chunk of change for those things.
It is now, but see, again, this is like a lot of this gear talk for me is like, I mean, I've had that thing since before it came out, you know, like it didn't cost me a crazy amount of money. I just never sold it. And now, you know, and I don't want to sell it because I'll never buy another one because they're so expensive.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's number 3?
So number 3 is at the moment is I have been hooked on the Old Blood, their BL series, the chorus, the BL 82. I am a modulation guy. I got to have like a phase, a flange, a chorus, something on the board to kind of move my tone and make it wiggle a little bit. And I normally have like others too, but we're only doing 4. So I picked the one if I was like really trying to shove everything on like a nano pedal board, this is probably would make me happy. But that pedal is sick. I don't know if you guys have played it yet. It's kind of a newer one in their series, but it's unique in the fact that you can adjust the clock of the delay time, which, you know, chorus is basically all that is kind of got based around delay and time-based stuff. But it can get some real flangey type tones, and I'm like a big fan of the like Electric Mistress and like that whole like parked flange filter matrix thing where it kind of does that's how I sound like Mark Knopfler, because I do not like Strats either, and that quack makes me feel uncomfortable, but that gives me that like same like cocteau kind of weird flangey thing, and the BL82 does that as well as like a nice shimmery chorus. So that one's been like one that I'm like, when I'm changing the board out for fun or for gigs, I'm like, no, you stay, because you could be a pedal that, you know, just makes everything sound a little better.
Sure.
You know, cool pedal.
Now, do you use you ever use the expression with that?
So the BL series does not have expression, and I'm actually, it's funny because Brady is a very close friend of mine. We talk regularly, and it's like I've never cared about the expression capabilities of any of his pedals because they always have like hold functions or like freeze switches, you know, so I don't need an expression. And then he releases like the BL, like the reverse and the chorus and then the reverb that just came out, and it's like, I wish this had an expression to the clock. It would make this a game changer.
Oh, maybe. So I'm looking at it. I assumed this was an expression input, but in the lower right-hand corner.
Oh, that's the power. Yeah, that's just the power jack. Everything's side mounted. Yep.
Ugh. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
By us.
I've got a couple pedals like that, and every time I'm like,
It's
You gotta-
Tetris, man. You got to
Yes.
just wiggle them around and make them. Hey, you know what, brother? You need to go get yourself some Tour Gear Designs patch cables, and you can put everything you want
I
side
like
by side.
it. I like it. I like that you're on the tip. Okay, last one.
Okay, so yeah, it's again kind of not fair. And this one is like more left of like those three pedals specifically. I definitely love. Trying to pick another one's hard, man. I always got like a spacey reverb on the board because I got to have something that I can play like alone and like just be atmospheric. Tend to be more of a like soundscapey type guitarist, which is why I love pedals. I paint pictures. I don't enter the shred dad world very much. Although I love metal and high gain, I just can't sweep pick or play really fast very well. So spacey reverb is normally something there, but I think more importantly, man, the Spaceman Voyager is the bougie version of basically the envelope tremolo. Is like I got to have an envelope tremolo on the board. The Spaceman Voyager that was out years ago is probably the best one that I think has ever been made. Again, unobtainium, not trying to be that dude.
Is that the
but
white
like,
one or the black one?
Well, I've got a black one. The Ruined edition is what they called it, and that's back when Zach was doing like limited editions of everything. And
Yeah.
you could buy this pedal new at a reasonable price back then. And of course, now like they're not making them, so it's $600-700, which is way too much money. But so ironically enough, that's the pedal that I love so much. And when I worked with MXR when they were before they released their tremolo, and actually got them to write code for an envelope trim system that ended up being, it was like too late in the process because they'd already had like their enclosures done and their circuit boards laid out, but it's a secret function on the MXR tremolo that the re-release that they did, and it's got your whole nine there, so you can get envelope trim out of that, and it's smaller, although it's side jacks as well. It's smaller, so I can fit another pedal on there. So it's probably that most often than not. Envelope trim, I'd go MXR just because it's small.
Yep.
And that's about it.
I can dig it. I think maybe that's a rather unexpected four on the floor than maybe I might have pegged you for. Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe all of them were not.
It's
on our
it's
list
hard,
before.
man. I'm a big pedal board guy. I got 14 pedals on the board most of the time, so it's like picking four of them. I knew coming into this was going to be tricky, but those are like, that's a part of my vibe. Having an envelope-based tremolo is just so cool because you can just leave it on and just let it breathe as you're playing. And it speeds up when you pick harder, and it slows down on your release, and it's a vibe. It's really, really rad.
Yeah, I can dig it. Thank you. That was some really great ones. Now let's see. We need to find out more about not only you, but the thing that you do, because I that is an important aspect of our collective guitar worlds. So
For sure.
Tell us, remind us what it is that you do as your profession.
So I am one of the owners of Eastside Music Supply. It's a guitar shop in Nashville, and specializing in pedals, of course, because that's what we love, and weird, obscure guitars and amps, and just kind of neighborhood guitar shop.
Yes. Well, in the a neighborhood guitar shop, but your neighborhood happens to be Music Capital USA. So
True.
A pretty fair amount of solid gear coming through there.
Oh, yeah.
I think when we met you the first time and Eastside Supply, that was Summer NAMM 2018, I believe.
Yeah, that was a while back, and
Yeah,
you guys came.
I think so.
You guys came to one of the parties that we had after NAMM, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And you guys were still. I mean, when did you open up?
So we've got our 9-year anniversary coming up here in September. So it's just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the store that you guys came to, I'm pretty certain was the one on the corner there of
Yep.
Yep. And so we had probably just been in there for, I don't know, we've been there for like 7 years now, I believe. So yep, but that's a long time ago when we met, man. A long time ago.
Yeah. Well, and for those who haven't been there, I'm going to set it up, but you can please elaborate. It's what you, I think, would like. Let me back that up. I appreciated what we walked into. It wasn't something that made me feel like I was a stranger there. It wasn't so I guess homey that I felt like an intruder. Sometimes you can feel like an intruder, sometimes you can feel like a complete stranger in a place, and I appreciated that, like, you really do know your audience.
That's that means a lot that you say that, man. It's just kind of knowing the audience is kind of the only way I feel like you can survive in this industry. There's too many people, there's too many guitar players, too many styles, and I feel like some people try to do everything and they kind of fall short in some ways because they're trying to reach too many people. And we're a small shop, so we don't have the means even to try to go for everybody. So we just really take what we know and what we love and who we are, and kind of put our flag down. And we have found that there are more people like us, and they dig the same kind of idea of the shop that we've kind of tried to create, like the atmosphere we've tried to create there. So that's cool you said that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something else, at least me personally, I'd love to know your guys' opinion of like what you like about shops and don't. I'm going to throw out there one of the reasons that I felt like that is that I didn't have to search around and try to find something interesting or try to find something that, like you said, wasn't pointed to either way out of my zip code or so common that it wasn't interesting to me. And quite the opposite. I mean, there was a party going on there, and Jared and I were there. Tony, I don't think
I was there.
No, just kidding.
See how soon they forget?
and we spent almost the entire time looking at gear or talking to people from the show, but mostly a lot of looking at gear.
Yeah, no, there were some very interesting things, and that's I mean, that's the difference between walking into a Sam Asher Guitar Center. I mean, you maybe in the vintage section you might find something interesting, but by and large, any of the big box stores, you're looking at the same Fenders and Gibsons and things like that. Where I'm always more attracted to more unusual or rare things, and certainly, I mean, I'm not. I don't have a budget that would allow.
Yes, you do.
But I prefer player grade instruments.
Yeah.
I mean, like if I'm in New York,
your shop screams that in a good way.
Yeah. Well, we've tried. I mean, like, when and I know we'll talk about when we got there, like when we opened and whatnot. But part of us opening was just kind of like we just felt like there wasn't our shop like that we wanted. Nashville was not lacking a guitar shop. In fact, like we got said no thank you on like investment. When we were trying to ask for money, people are like, oh, you want to open up a guitar shop? I think Nashville's good on that.
Hey,
and it's true.
Hey, Jerry,
I mean,
get this one, come over here.
Yeah, right. And it's like you got in a world of Carter Vintage and Groon and Rumble Seat moved to town and like all these people that do this stuff really well. Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate a vintage guitar. Like, I love it, I appreciate it, but like, dude, I ain't buying that. I ain't got $50K or $20K or like for a guitar. Like, and I know that like I can appreciate that, but that also doesn't mean that I have to like try to sell that because, I mean, just to be honest with you, the people that can like afford a $50,000 guitar are probably not my kind of people, man. Like,
they live in Franklin.
Yeah, like, and that doesn't mean that they're not good people. It's just they're not. I don't know. It's like
they're not
downtown.
Different strokes for different folks, and
we just
what you're doing because it is fun to go and make the rounds. I mean, that's one of the things we did there. We hit all the big shops.
Yeah,
and it's neat because you can see some really neat stuff there.
Sure, we get museums basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you feel like you're walking into, and you're almost afraid to pick something up and try it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when I saw that Selmer Zodiac, and I just about.
Oh yeah, those are sick.
Oh, that
yeah,
was
but it's
beautiful.
that was just kind of one of the main things. Just kind of like, man, we're players. Me and Brandon had both spent time on the road, and like we were kind of just trying. Even it's like successful musicians that are very well in the pocket. Like financially, not all of them really care to buy a Dumble either. I mean, you got your crowd that definitely does, but a lot of touring musicians just want good player grade gear. They don't want to spend 10 grand on a guitar. They want they'd rather have 2 guitars that are $4,000 or whatever. It's like, so I don't know. Yeah, we definitely try to we're just trying to be who we are and have the shop that we'd want to go to. And I can't afford super expensive vintage shit, so we don't really try to get it.
Well, I think we don't want to paint a picture that this is like like pawn shop grade stuff either by any means.
Oh yeah,
you guys
not at all.
have a selection of good stuff, but like interesting good stuff
That plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference between, when I say a player grade instrument, that means if you wanted to, you could actually take it out that day
And gig it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Versus
Yeah,
if you go to
totally.
a pawn shop and you spend a week to find something and tweak it
man.
and things like that. So to me, that's the difference. And like I was going to say, if I'm in New York, I like going to 30th Street Guitars because it's the same thing.
Yep.
It's got great deals, good deals on really great player grade instruments.
Good deals on great gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's so true. When we kind of like were starting to ship gear, like the first couple years, we didn't even have like a website for like the first 2 years. Like we were slow to all that. And when we started shipping guitars out, and people were like, "Hey, you said the fret life was good, but like there's a divot here, and it needs a crown." And it's kind of like, well, I mean, it needs one soon. Like it doesn't need it now, but and so after we got like two times that happened, we were just like, you know what? Everything that gets on the floor is going downstairs. Everything's getting level frets. Everything's getting polished and set up. Nothing is like, so that's like something that we kind of take pride in. And, we've gotten a reputation for that, online with like, all the great reviews that we get and whatnot on Reverb and whatnot. But it's like, hey man, I got this guitar, pulled it out of the box, and it's fantastic. And so we, you're talking about being able to pick up a guitar off of the wall and it be player grade. Like you can go, stage or studio ready, it's ready to go, man. And that's because, again, like it all kind of comes back to like what we'd want. I wouldn't want to spend, $1,500 on a guitar at ship, and then I'm like, it's not intonated. I got to take it to my tech and have him set it up, and then the tech's actually, man, you need to do a fret level because this is a bunch of dead spots and no fall away and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, well, cool, my $1,500 guitar just turned into a $1,700 guitar and I won't get to play it for a week,
Yeah.
Like,
If you're lucky.
right? Yeah, I know. I say a week. Our turnaround time right now is like a month. So I don't know where a week came from. Yeah.
Yeah. I would also say that the selection that you have is extremely wide, which is, I think, again, really helpful because that's one of those things where you could walk in and think you're going to get like, oh, I'm looking for a new pedal. You could just easily walk out with an amp or a guitar because A, you got range, B, you've got quality, and C, you got affordability. And those things, it's hard to walk into a shop because so many shops either they can specialize or they can say, it's not worth it for us to have, amps in here because, we can't get them played. So people just don't buy them or we can't get the pedals because we don't want a bunch of crazy used pedals because our clientele doesn't like those. So you don't get to either. And I just really appreciate the way that you guys did your thing, and that stuck with us ever since. So when I saw you, I was like, yes, let's talk.
Yeah, it was good to see you. Yeah, that's again, just like I think like right now in the shop we have like a vintage Martin hollow body electric like sitting beside a Kramer. Like it's
Nice.
and the being broad and being wide is we like cool stuff, and it's our opinion of cool because everybody's cool is different. But yeah, we like to have a paint with a broad brush, I guess you could say.
I like it. when we are talking about shops and everything, we can imagine what maybe to a certain degree what that's like and all the good things. What are some of the difficulties that you find in running a shop without necessarily diving into like the inner workings of the actual like core business and where you have to pay the bills and all that blah 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 blah, like the shop part?
That is a big old fat can of worms, and I love to talk about it. Someone probably would appreciate it, and but man, running the shop's crazy. We opened it up because we're players, we love gear, yada yada yada. Here we are. You had the pizza shop analogy earlier. The burnout is real. That happened where me and Brandon were at my house when we got our first shipments from like Mantic and Earthquaker, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got all these pedals for the shop, and now stuff comes in and I'll play it later, like, oh cool, I'll plug that new pedal in like in a week. Like that happened like for a while. The burnout was real. Because running a business and running the shop on that admin side is not just like coming in and playing with gear all day, which, a lot of my friends are like, oh, dude, it must be so cool. Like, you just get to play pedals all day. And I'm like, I wish that was like what it is, but it's not. But yeah, I'm back from burnout land and I'm enjoying gear again, which is awesome. But honestly, man, one of the hardest parts about running a shop is the people that you deal with. And I think that's like, anybody's job that works in any kind of like customer service and retail. And I don't know, it could be considered a hot take here, but like not everybody is cool, man. A lot of people suck. And a lot of guitar players in our industry suck as humans. And
how do you really feel?
I mean, I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
Like you asked me, I'm telling you. It's like,
well, now keep in mind the guy who's basically created a name for himself on the internet for calling stuff out like that just asked you that question.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though. It's like, so, as we've grown, which has been awesome, we're reaching a broader audience. That means more people, man. And back to it, more people means more, jackholes, and, you got to deal with them. And we are just real people at the end of the day. I think there's like an issue with some people that have just grown up in like, Burger King culture, have it your way, customer's always right. That like, honestly, man, treat us like shit and it's not okay. And so we don't tolerate it. That's like one of the cool things about not being like Guitar Center or something is like I've had people just be complete, jerks to my staff and to me, and on the phone. Oh, well, I need to speak to a manager, and I'm like, man, I own the shop, man. You're talking to me, and like, don't ever shop here again. That's fine. I don't need your attitude. I don't need how you're treating my people is not okay. And I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that have just been so used to just getting everything that they want, and like, as a human that runs a business, like I can't deal with that for my personal mental health. Like the smile and turn the other cheek is like one thing, but like some of these people that we deal with, man, are absolutely insane. Like I talk about it all the time. Give me 5 years. I'm going to put out a coffee table book that is screenshots from my reverb interactions. It is going to blow your mind, man. The things that people will say to you blindly over the internet are insane.
Right. And it makes it even that much worse when if you think about the shop that you've created and why you created it and the people that you handpicked to put in there.
Yeah.
That's a radically different scenario that people obviously are not picking up on.
Not everyone, and that's the thing. I feel like I said, people are so used to just sending an email back to a big commercial entity and just bitching about something, and then they get this email back that's like, we're so sorry, John, you can here take your we're going to give you a coupon for $100 off because you had a bad experience and blah blah blah. And like some of the stuff is just like, I mean, not to say that we don't make mistakes, and like we love taking care of our people, like that is customer service is huge for us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I am not okay with being walked on as a human. And like, if that means you're going to leave me a bad Google review and never shop with me again, then bye. And like, you're going to tell all your friends. And it's like, dude, sometimes it's like, I'm like, please tell your friends, because if they like you, that means I probably won't like them either. So like, y'all just go on and go shop at Sam Ash or whatever. I don't need it. Like your pedal purchases for the next 5 years that you're, or whatever. It's like, I would rather not have to have the mental strain of dealing with you and having to like tell my staff and our crew, like, listen, man, just you just gotta let them have what they want, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's like
gutting as a manager.
It is. It's just it's as a human, man. As a human, like you can't like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Be real. We're authentic people, and at the end of the day, we want to be treated like that. And we give people an incredible amount of attention and care. And when you're in the shop, man, like we give everybody the red carpet. Doesn't matter who you are. But you come in with a attitude. It's like not okay.
On that note of the red carpet and all the good stuff. Now you gave us the bad side of the penny. What's the shiny side of the penny when it comes to that?
Oh, there's a shiny side for sure. I mean, running the shop, like I was talking about earlier, I get to play so much sweet stuff. I get new gear before it comes out, and that's kind of exciting. And you feel like, you know something that no one knows about. And it's like, like the Old Blood pedal that just came out, that BL, series, the reverb, and the new Chase Bliss and Empress collaboration. It's like, knowing about that, but not being able to tell anybody is like, that's just exciting. and so that's kind of cool. And then, you meet great people too, like, because not everyone sucks. Don't get me wrong. We have I do have faith in humans overall, kinda. But the shiny side is there are just a lot of great people out there and a lot of great people in this industry. And I've been able to build some of my best friendships with some of these people and, just builders and players alike, and even other store owners. There's a lot of good people that we've met and a lot of fun stuff, when we went to Anaheim, I gotta go to California because it's NAMM and I might see Todd, and it's a business trip. And, so there's definitely, shiny side of the penny for sure.
Yeah.
Lots of fun little things.
You have, as you said, you got a shop on the corner in Nashville's a big city, but it's also a small city at the same time.
Yeah.
And, some of the bigger places, we all have talked about, like, man, it's so nice when you have a place where you can go. And I don't want to get all like cheersy on everybody, but there is an element to that when you have, especially around a something you're enthusiastic or passionate about, and you kind of can go and feel kind of at home at and talk to the people, and they'll recognize you and say, actually, I just got this thing in, man. I can't wait. You're gonna love this. Do you think that is what people are finding I'm speculating, but I'm
sure. Yeah. No, that's the vibe we, set out to intentionally create. Even the people that are a part of the crew, it's like, they're all solid people that feel the same way. That we kind of have we're kind of a culture there at the shop that we've, tried to create with our local music community, which is such a big deal to us, being there locally and being able to support what's going on, in our hometown, which is like, you talked about. Nashville's music is insane. There's 300 shows a night within a 5-mile square radius of each other. Half of them are free. And, the guy playing guitar is 6 times better than you, and he served your sandwich at lunch the same day. Like, it's insane, the amount of talent there. But, the shop on the corner there is cool. And, we see it all, man. We see it all.
I like it.
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah, I actually had 2 questions for you. Number one, talking about gear, I hear that you have some new pedal companies. Do you also carry new guitar brands and new amp brands as well, or are the guitars?
Yeah, so I've again just harping back into like what I've always loved, and what Brandon's always loved. We the short answer is yes, we do. It's kind of more leaned towards the smaller builders. We carry a few luthiers, scale model guitars, Nest Customs, Revelator stuff. We get in some new guitars every now and then. Same thing with amps. We carry Benson amps new. We worked with Third Power for a little while as well. Love what they do. And but for us, man, I've bought one new amplifier in my whole life. One. And I've bought one new guitar in my whole life, and I didn't even buy it. My parents bought it for me when I was a kid. And it's like everything else has been used. And so that's kind of like, I don't know, again, back to the kind of keeping it wallet friendly and player grade. You buy a brand new guitar, you're losing a little money when you leave the car lot, so to speak.
Yeah.
And also when we opened up just the retail, with a lot of the bigger brands to be like a Fender dealer or a Gibson dealer, or you have to buy everything, and you have to commit to this certain quota per year. And I mean, we're such a small shop. I was like, dude, I don't even have that much money for the whole store, let alone just to carry a guitar brand. So
I don't think most people, when I managed a retail location for many years too. And, and people would come in and we carried Epiphone at one point, and they're like, why don't you carry Gibson? I'm like, cause that would take another $250,000.
Yeah.
And the customer would laugh and be like, no, I'm dead serious. And then we'd have to re-up within the first 3 months of the next year with another $250,000, whether we sold the last year's or not.
Yep. And sometimes you don't even get to pick what you get. And you ain't stocking my store for me. I'm stocking it. And it's like, so that's kind of how it started. But, we do love, we do still think there are a lot of really cool people building amps now. I mentioned the only amp I ever bought new. I bought a Science amp Street Sweeper from Alex. I know you guys have
he's been on the show
at some point. Yeah. And, again, that's the only new amp I ever bought, and I love it. I still love it. I still play it all the time. And I would carry Alex's amps, but he can't even keep up with his own build. He's selling them direct, which is so cool. I'm stoked for him, that he gets to do that and still tour. And, so it's would I like to carry a few other brands? If I could go pick 6 guitars from Gibson and 6 from Fender, then I would love that. But that's just not how the industry has been. And I think that it's kind of starting to lean towards a way where people kind of, I don't know. A good example is that was with when we started carrying Boss and Roland. They had, always had a big buy-in. If you're going to do Boss, you got to do Roland. You got to do the whole 9. You can't just get some Boss pedals. And I was just kind of talking to the guy at NAMM actually, and was just like, man, we love pedals. We are the go-to shop in town, and we love Boss pedals. We grew up on Boss pedals. Y'all need to be in the store, but I can't spend $50,000 on Boss and Roland products. If you can let me tinker some in here, and we ended up being able to work that out, which was incredible.
That's awesome.
But but it's the same way. I think the industry is kind of leaning towards that a little bit with some of the bigger brands. But that's the long answer to we do sell some new guitars and amps, mostly small brands, none of the big guys, but then the pedal selection is insane with new brands. And we also have just a ridiculous used collection that's constantly changing.
Awesome.
Are you noticing any trends, or is there something specifically that your customers are asking for these days?
It comes and goes. It's always so surprising, the industry. Some things you can see coming from a little ways away, and then some things catch you completely off guard, whether it's, somebody's, there's a John Mayer rig rundown and he plays this pedal. And man, I've had, 17 of these sitting collecting dust, and all of a sudden they're all gone in a day. And I'm like, wait, what happened? I missed something. And then I'm like, try to go order more. I'm like, let me get 10 more of these real quick. And they're like, oh man, we just got hit with a big order. It's going to be 3 weeks. So, but you see that, of course. And then, other than that, sometimes, with what Josh is doing with the JHS show, it's like, man, that's a whole merry-go-round circus and, tent with all the whole 9 with what's going to be the next coolest thing. It's like, and I think it's great what he's doing. I
pretty remarkable.
love he is doing so much for the culture of our industry that people might not even realize, but he is a true historian. And I know you guys have probably joked about it too, but yeah, he's in a museum. Open up a museum, Josh, if you hear this.
Yeah. No, we actually said that on the show.
Yeah. It's like I've told you once, I'll tell you on a podcast, Josh, open up a museum. Just do it. Let us go see everything. Let the public come. But yeah, what he's doing is so cool, but that affects the market. And, like a rig rundown or obviously the thing too with like hustle culture and everybody trying to flip everything, which don't get me started on that. But that's like a whole thing where it's like, or do, if you like to ruffle feathers, we'll do it. I'm down. But yeah, it's like, such and such is, we're not making any more of these. This is going to be done. And then all of a sudden they're all gone and you can't find them. And so watching the trends in the gear is pretty funny, man. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Hit makers for sure. I think Jared it was piping in for a good question here.
I've been into your shop a couple of times, and both were the Summer NAMM, and so the amp that I bought from you, I ended up selling that to the fellow who bought my business. And
crazy.
I sold it to him because I didn't want to carry it up the steps. It was so heavy, but that's probably one of the best amps I had, and I loved that amp, and I had so many things. Zach wanted it worse than me, so I sold it reluctantly, knowing that I can always come back and play it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story on here quick. But my question was, what's the coolest piece of gear that, or your favorite, something memorable that has been in your shop?
Is this something that I didn't buy or something that I might have bought? Because that's two different answers.
Give us both.
Give us both. Yeah.
Okay. I think probably my favorite piece of gear that has come through the shop that I bought, this is kind of a vanilla answer, is just a Rickenbacker 330 that actually felt good in my hands, that I love so much.
Tony's a Rickenbacker guy. He loves them.
It took me, man, I wanted to like Rickenbackers since I was a kid, and every one of them that I played, it was just like, nope, like my hand does not like this string spacing and this neck shape. And I used to joke around, anyone that would bring one into the shop to sell on consignment or to trade or, whatever. I'd always be like, oh, let me see it real quick. Let me see it. And I put my hand on it and I'm like, nope, not mine. And one day one came in and I was like, oh God. What do you want for this? And that's still one of my, kind of number ones.
What model was it? I mean, I know what model, but like color.
It's a 330. It's the jet glow black with white guards and stuff. And I actually just blacked it all out, which was so sick.
That's cool.
But you can't, I don't know if you guys know this, but you probably do, but Rickenbacker is not very cool with people making aftermarket parts. They like to like really shut that down. And apparently, like if I wanted a replacement pick guard for this Rick, I was going to have to send them my white one and pay like $150 for like a different one.
No, that's the
truss. Tony.
That's the truss rod cover. They're very sensitive about truss rod covers. But
so yeah,
in
so
terms
you know
of the
what I'm
guards,
talking about.
yeah. So the guards have never been a problem. In fact, Rickenbacker and I have a really good working relationship. And
nice. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, but I bought mine from some guy in Greece because it was a black truss rod cover.
Did it come with lamb?
No, but it comes with a made in USA stamp that's raised exactly like it should be. So,
wow.
Oh yeah, the truss rod covers. I guess I can understand them trying to protect, but yeah, unfortunately.
Well, then sell me one, Rick. Like John at Rickenbacker. It's like, let me buy a different colored truss rod cover without making me jump through hoops and send you my broken one. Like I just want a different color,
Yeah.
But I think they're worried about people like making fake guitars and putting their truss rod cover on the Greco Bacher or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I totally get that, but yeah, it does make it difficult for
Reisenbacher.
If you want to, if you want to customize something, yeah, you're right. It does make it really difficult.
Yeah,
but yeah. So that's probably my favorite thing that I've kept. The thing that there's a lot of stuff that kind of comes in, and as I mentioned, I got jaded for a while after seeing so much cool stuff. It's like we'd have really great gear come in. It's like, oh man, you see this 70s Les Paul Classic? I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, it's cool. I'll plug that in later, But the one thing that I wish I would have gotten is there's a JCM that came through, and I'm not a Marshall guy. But man, this amp ripped, and it was one of those. I was like, man, this is the Marshall. I should just buy this Marshall. It's like an '80s JCM 800, and it was like, it's gone. So I never got to buy that. But that was probably, I don't know, it's kind of lame vanilla answers, but things that moved me. I mean, we've gotten all the rare pedals and love tone stuff and all the cool weird stuff that has come through and gone. And I don't know, I appreciate it all, but I think that's probably the only thing I think about that I should have snagged that I didn't.
Yeah.
JCM 800, yeah.
And you say you also do consignments at your shop too?
Yeah, man, we're a buy, sell, trade, consign. Eastside Music Supply, Nashville, Tennessee.
Perfect.
We try to do gear Cupid, man. If you got gear that you don't want, and we're very honest about that too, just kind of like as far as, well, if you want us to buy it, like I can't give you that much because we're going to do a fret level on it. We're going to put a bunch of money into it, make it nice. And I don't know when I'm going to sell it. But like if you want to trade and I can give you something now that I already have, then like we can give you a little bit better value, for your gear swapping that we're doing. But we try as best as we can to be reasonable. Most of our, like I said, most of our customers know that that's the vibe. Like we got to pay the bills, man. Like we're an actual store. We're not just like a website in a warehouse, which is like a whole nother thing in the industry that is unique in my position as a music retail owner versus just a player and like, someone who likes to collect or whatever. Like, a lot of these shops out there just they're not paying commercial rent and they're not paying for 10 people to be full-time employees at livable wages and things like that, to where it makes it a little harder for us to, we got to be able to make a little money at the end of the day, but everybody knows that. And so we do it all. Yeah, we buy, sell, trade, consign, do it all.
Fantastic. Blair, it has been an absolute delight talking with you and learning about your shop, and I hope a whole lot of people that may have gone down for the Nashville experience or are planning on that swing in and check out what you guys are doing. And I appreciate and I'm grateful that you guys are out there doing that.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
We got to swing in to Jared's house, Tony. We're gonna hop in the El Camino. We're gonna make Rob sit in between you and Jared. Right. And I'll sit.
Well, we were in a
Blair.
Mini Cooper last week, so
you got a big cam in it.
Yeah. Where are we going today?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jared's house. It's time for Would You Rather?
All right.
So you're walking down the street, and a tour manager for two famous big bands, everybody knows who they are. They ask you if you like AC/DC and Ozzy Osbourne. He asked you, hey, man, can you fill in for one of our bands? We got two shows going at once over, your Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. There's two shows going on.
Is that Max's Kansas City?
I don't know. Anyway.
Tony.
The first band would be AC/DC you're going to play for. But they don't care to mingle with you, so you're stuck eating the catering food that has been sitting around for a while, like fish and warm tartar sauce. You know what I'm saying? And
I love both of those.
Yeah.
And the bathroom you have access to is a tired old full porta-john, right? There's TP all over the place.
No number twos there.
But the gear. Now, remember, you have to eat the fish, the old sitting out fish in the warm tartar sauce. So, anyway, the gear is vintage Gibson and Fender, like top-of-the-line guitars with the top-of-the-line pedals and amps. Like, they have the best stuff. Even the Red SG that Angus left for you to play. The second show is Ozzy Osbourne. So, he's got fresh catering, nice, clean facilities that the cleaning crew just got done spraying lots of Lysol, and so you know it's fresh.
Sharon, where's the Lysol?
That's right. But the equipment is scarce because the missing guitar player took the good stuff. You're left with one Fender Bass 6, and you will have to play lead guitar on that.
Ooh. Wow.
Which show are you going to fill in for? And you're
Okay.
super starving too, so you have
What are the bathrooms like on the Aussie show?
absolutely clean and fresh Lysol.
Yeah,
Like-
and a killer spread of food.
The food is like no warm fish and no warm
All
tartar
right,
sauce.
go ahead, Tony.
Well, you know, Todd.
Yes, intimately.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, interesting. We'll talk about that after the podcast.
Let's not.
I think, gosh, playing lead on a bass 6 is damn near impossible. I mean, if you're playing bass as a guitar player, I guess you could muddle through, but to play lead guitar, I don't
You
think
got to
so.
do with what you got. Yeah.
Is it required that I eat the warm fish and tartar sauce?
Yes. You're starving. You have to eat.
You have to eat that.
Yeah.
I can't just run through Taco Bell or something, right?
No, you have to gamble and eat it.
Okay. I think that I could probably do more AC/DC tunes than Aussie tunes, especially playing lead on a bass 6. So I'm going to go with option 1: eat the fish in warm tartar sauce. And will there be a case of Pepto-Bismol?
There'll be a case of something. All right.
That's what I'm going with.
All right.
I'm
That's
doing
great.
the AC/DC.
That's fantastic. Rob?
It's terrible. I hate these things.
How do you really feel, Rob?
I'd go number 2.
Ah!
If you had the fish, you will.
He's going number 2.
I'm going with number 1. Yeah, because I mean, version 1.
How are you going to play lead on a bass 6?
I won't. I will do my very best, and I'll just stand there and be like, look what I have to
Rob,
do with
you're a
it.
very good guitar player.
He is. He's a good player.
Enough.
But I'm going to be on stage at least. If I go with option 1 there with
Yeah.
the AC/DC thing, I might make it 3 songs into the set and then have to excuse myself. And so I mean, it's like, well, I mean, at least I'll be on stage for the hour with Ozzy.
You can
Okay.
have to take John Entwistle leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Jared, about yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna gamble. I'm gonna gamble big time because I have a lot of self confidence, and I'm gonna wear white jeans as well.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and eat the warm fish and the warm tartar sauce and have a Gibson SG. And if I have to take it into the bath, like into the John with me while it's plugged
Oh, I
in,
didn't know that was an option.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Blair, what are you doing?
I mean, you ain't playing Bark at the Moon with a bass 6, man. That just ain't happening. and I'm not going to an Aussie show unless they're playing that song. So, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Fish and AC/DC. I can bang out 3 chords and let Angus rip all day long. I cannot take the place of any of those guitar players for Aussie.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Okay.
Todd, what are you gonna do, brother?
I'm going with Ozzy. Number 1, because I'm going to enjoy the food. And number 2, because all I got to do is pinch harmonics all night and nobody's going to know the difference.
Oh,
so
no,
I'll take the bass.
that's only like
I'll
4
take the
records
basics.
worth of stuff.
That's-
Dude, you
it
hacked
doesn't
it.
matter.
You hacked it, man.
That's the recorded part.
Oh no, that's
Yeah, because
but
Zach
that's-
Wilde just did all.
But Zach's only 4 albums.
I know, but it's. All I have to do is.
Shaky Lee,
I
Randy
know
stuff.
that, but they're not playing the shows.
Well, I know, but you got to cover their songs.
But he did. See, I'm just picking up where he left off, and it is
I see what you mean.
the pinch harmonic.
Pinch harmonic
meister.
on a bass
Yes,
6.
That's
Yeah,
all I got to do.
that's-
Just
that
go.
works out. It'll be more like thud, thud, thud.
Womp.
That is true. That is a would you rather hack from Todd Novak.
Yes, I hacked it.
Thank you.
I hacked into it,
Yeah.
and I win.
That's a good
I'm a
one.
driver. I'm a winner. Things are going to change. I can feel it. All right. That was really cool. Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Jared.
We need to say a thank you
Yes.
to our to some very important people.
Yes, Todd, because at this point of the show, there's a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, how do you become one? Well, quite easy. Head over to patreon.com and check out a couple different levels in which you can participate. Become a sponsor, a patron, a hero of the podcast.
Yes.
Each level comes with some very, very nice thank you gifts. But as an executive producer,
We need another hero.
we do need another
Yes.
hero.
I need
Yes.
a
Yes.
hero.
Yes.
It's another good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's one thing more in addition to the thank you gifts. Jared, what is that?
You get to have your name read on the thing.
Your name
man.
read on the thing. That's what I'm going to do right now as Todd rolls his hands, meaning I should go faster. So special thanks to these executive producers: Moon Guitars, Vader and Pedals, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Mikey D, Richard Kendall, Mark Garton, James White, Justin Jones, Anthony Gemolero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterly, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Doug Christ, Darren Gregory, Tom Barazin, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk, Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hemmer, Stuart George, Michael Furman, James Bell, James Romer, Cameron Pampas, David Tyndall, Trevor Ellenberg, and Christopher Logan.
All right.
But Todd, there's more because we have a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poobahs. These fine folks get a fez to wear upon their heads whilst listening to the podcast.
And at the same time.
Yes, and there's some other very nice thank you gifts and things. So check that out. Check out some of the reveal packages. So special thanks to these Grand Poobahs. Tommy Manasco, Ricardo Igareda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wound Pickups, Hex Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler Rhines, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, James Pennington, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Cody Foster, Science of Sound, Brian Robinson, Jonathan Jarusik, Corey Nigro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Nowak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S. David Poe, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Congregation Gear Demos, Paul Vaughn Eppinger, Scott Sullivan, Great Lakes Guitar Pickups, and our poet emeritus, Matt Hart.
That is correct, Amundo. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to say a colossal thank you to Blair White of Eastside Music Supply for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. I would love to come back and complain more often.
We will have you back on at some point. That door is wide open for you, man. Where can people go and get your stuff?
EastsideMusicSupply.com, Eastside Music Supply on the old Instagrams and Facebook and socials. Type it in the Google search machine, and you'll be led to our destination.
Perfect. And if you can't or are not necessarily in the market for a piece of actual gear, go get some merch. They've got a ton of great merch.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of cool stuff that we're about to do. We're like a duck. We're just chilling on top, but we are paddling like hell underneath it. We got a lot of really cool stuff we're excited about that did not get to talk about on the podcast here. But take the email list on the website does not suck. It's not crazy marketing email. We send it like once a month, and it's always got fun stuff, cool little discounts and weird exclusives, and that's where you kind of find out about like the new merch drops, or hey, we just got 10 KTRs in stock on the website for regular price, that kind of thing. So
Awesome.
do that. That's good.
I dig it. I'm into that. I if I'm not, I am going to sign up for that because I love hearing about new stuff, especially merch. It's cool collecting shop merch, man. That's a whole other thing in itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Tony Baloney, where can people get your stuff?
Yeah, head over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the stuff that I do. Some of it's available right there for you to purchase, but by and large, what I do is custom work. So shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do, what you need, and I will take very good care of you.
I know you will. Rob, about yourself.
Madcow Amplification on Instagram, or send me an email, info@madcowamplification.com.
Yeah, and Blair, if you need a kindred spirit who likes to call out the maddening things of the gear world, then go check out Mad Cow
It
Amplification.
would probably suit him well.
I'm following it right now.
It's great. It's great.
Let's go.
Jared,
Let's
about yourself?
So if you want to message me, talk to me about gear, all good. Jared.allen.brandon, and check out the project I'm in, Stranger Remnant. We have under 100 followers. Help us get over a big giant number of 100.
Excellent.
Evil laugh to follow.
Yeah. You can shoot me an email, todd@theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me on Instagram @guitarknobs. We'd love to hear from you. Share your stories. Tell us what's up. Tell us what you think of the show. Throw rocks at me. Do whatever.
Rocksfortodd.com.
Yeah. And please.
Valentino's, baby.
Yeah, go check out. We've got our the first of 4 singles that are dropping. It's called Hands Tied, and it's burning up the charts. And
Hey, how about protecting your knobs?
yes, protect your knobs. Go to flinteffects.com and get a little piece of gear called a stomper to protect your hopefully your favorite, maybe not your favorite, whatever, piece of gear such as an HX Stomp or an H9D, an H90, or various other pieces of multi.
Just go to the
FX gear.
site, see what's available.
I'm running on my
You're
tongue is
gonna love
running
it.
away from me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a good time. We hope you have too. Have a fantastic guitar weekend. Subscribe.
Frankenbeans. Frankenbeans.
No worries.
Can I scratch my microphone?
No, you can't. All right, here we go.
Yep.
You bastards.
It's so easy to get Todd going.
Anyways,
So that can't be on the thing.
It's not on the thing.
All right. Let me just. I'm gonna sign
Can you
out
hear me?
and read.
Pope's name again?
Can you hear me?
I
Am
can
I
hear
there?
you.
I can hear you. I was just gonna try to sign out and sign back in and see if that
Jared,
did
you're
that.
I could. Oh, what?
You're
Rob!
gonna surprise us
Jared.
with the would you rather.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, is it sounding crazy and echoey to y'all? Like I could do it from this speaker, but I don't want the sound
Testing.
quality to
Test.
suck.
How am I? Too hot?
Hang on, Jared.
No, Blair needs to leave and come
Hello.
back.
No, he just came
Fourth
in.
time back.
You pop in.
It's my 4th time here.
Jared, pop back in.
Do you have a pen I can click?
Okay, no. No, please don't. Stop. Okay. Let me just do this. Okay. All right. Tony, please just let me get through this. Yeah, just a couple of things that for housekeeping.
For sure. Hand me that fluffy pillow.
Oh, it's a,
Are
a
you
bass
giving
vibe.
it away right now? That's the whole thing.
No.
Okay.
He was
Like I
trying
said,
to.
no.
He was trying to run it past you.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of a little kid with a face full of chocolate saying, "Did you eat the cake?" No.
Sounds kind of psychosomatic.
Yeah.
It is
And,
like,
They had to basically do 2 tears.
Can you guys hear me?
and away we go. Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.